In this episode of Film Facts, we're going to be taking a look at a cult classic in TV land, a show that has become legendary for being cancelled. It still hurts. That's right, we're taking a look at the sci-fi western TV show Firefly. I mean, that wasn't much of a surprise. Name's in the title of the video, I guess. So let's not waste any more time and get stuck in, because if you had questions like what caused tensions between Fox and the showrunners, how does this show and the Alien franchise share some DNA, and some other question you had, probably, then we got the answers for you. Results may vary on that last one. Oh, would you look at that, it's number 1. So Firefly is a space western TV show that ran for only one season between 2002 and 2003, created, written and directed by the master of quippy dialogue Joss Whedon. The show is set in the year 2517 after the arrival of humans in a new star system, and follows the crew of the Serenity, a Firefly class ship. In this future reality, the last two surviving superpowers, the United States and China, have fused together to form one large government named the Alliance, which often comes into conflict with the main characters of this show. Firefly premiered in the US on the Fox network on the 20th of September 2002. By mid-December, the show had managed to reach around 4.7 million viewers per episode. The show, however, was cut down before it could even get started, as it was cancelled after its first season. Despite this, Firefly has managed to gain a large and quite loyal fan base. Number 2. The first early concept of this show came from Whedon's desire to remake the classic television series Teletubbies. Okay, that's not actually true, but boy would it be a very different show if it was. Okay, in all seriousness, Whedon had begun developing the concept for Firefly after reading The Killer Angels, which chronicles the Battle of Gettysburg during the American Civil War. Whedon wanted to tell a story that followed people who had fought on the losing side of a war and their experiences afterwards as pioneers and immigrants on the outskirts of civilization, much like the post-American Civil War era and the American Old West. Ooh, it's number 3. The show features 9 main characters, each with their own unique personalities and backgrounds. They include Captain Malcolm Reynolds, played by Nathan Fillion, Zoe Washburn, played by Gina Torres, Hoban Washburn, also known as Wash, played by Alan Tudyk, Anara Sira, played by Morena Baccarin, Jane Cobb, played by Adam Baldwin, Katie Fry, played by Jules Statite, River Tam, played by Summer Glau, Dr. Simon Tam, played by Sean Mayer, and Book, played by Ron Glass. Oh, number 4. Firefly blends elements from the space opera and western genre. Even the costumes of the characters and the weapons featured in the show blends both western and sci-fi elements. Another blend of elements is the cultures of both the West and the East, with many of the props and architecture resembling that fusion of culture. Mandarin Chinese itself is a common second language in the show's universe. Whedon also created new slang words for the show that the characters would use, including the term shiny, which means cool. He would also create slang words that would resemble mild swear words, so like more like shit and less like I got 5 on it. Oh, copyright strike. During the filming of the pilot episode, Whedon had clashed with Fox over the format of the show. Fox had wanted the show to be shot and presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio, while Whedon insisted on the show being in a widescreen format. To combat Fox, Whedon placed actors on the edges of the screen so that they could only be shown in widescreen. Fox, however, went ahead and aired the show in a 4:3 format, which led to objects or setups that couldn't be seen on screen until the show was released on DVD and later Blu-ray. Another example of tensions between Fox and Whedon is when Fox had rejected the pilot for the show as they had felt it lacked action. They also disliked Malcolm Reynolds as the captain, feeling that he came across as too dark, and requested that Whedon make him more jolly. Oh, thank God big studio executives don't make movies, eh? Wait, what? Oh, fuck! Oh, don't believe it, it's number 6. To create an immersive feel for the show, Whedon had decided that the show would have a documentary found footage feel, with many of the scenes being shot handheld or with a Steadicam. However, this style was deliberately not used whenever a scene occurred featuring the Alliance, helping to emphasize the loose and chaotic life of our main characters against the rigid and stable world of the Alliance. The show also incorporated lens flares as part of its style, you know, before somebody went a bit mental with them. DOP David Boyd sent back the new cutting-edge lenses that they had received that helped reduce lens flares and exchanged them for cheaper ones.
Number 7, baby. Number 7.
Because of the show's sudden cancellation, there were many ideas for future episodes, possibly in another season, that never got to the production stage. Some of them include an episode that featured a planet that was always day on one side and night on the other. During this episode, Jane accidentally spills a type of pheromone on himself and the crew, which attracts a species of dogs. I'm assuming they're vicious dogs. This episode ends after River uses her mind powers to domesticate the dogs. Aww. Another possible episode would see Jane go up against Malcolm for the role of captain. There was also an episode where the crew land on a dying planet where the inhabitants tried to steal the Serenity after they explained to the crew about their need to get off the planet. The crew explained that unless they run into another ship along the way, the Serenity would not have enough fuel and oxygen to make its closest destination with all the extra passengers on board. The episode would end with Malcolm taking the ship for himself while everyone else is asleep and discovers that help would never arrive.
You wanna know a secret? It's number 8.
When the show originally aired, Fox, yet again being a bunch of clever clogs, aired the episodes out of order. The show had reached 11 episodes out of its 14 episode run before it was cancelled by Fox. Fox's reason for cancelling the show was due to the low ratings. The last 3 unaired episodes eventually got some screen time when the show debuted on the Sci-Fi channel in the UK in 2003. The AV Club stated many reasons as to why the show may have received low ratings. One of them was possibly due to the fact that Fox was airing the series out of order, making it harder for audiences to follow along.
Good heavens, number 9.
Firefly has an insanely loyal and passionate fan base. A portion of this fan base created a group called the Browncoats and used online forums to organise and try to save the series from being cancelled by Fox. Their efforts included raising money for an ad in Variety magazines. These campaigns by the fans eventually persuaded Universal Studios to produce a feature film based on the series named Serenity. There were numerous early screenings of rough film cuts for the fan base in order to create buzz for the film and increase ticket sales when the final film would be released. But the topic of Serenity is one for another video. In other words, foreshadowing. NASA astronaut and Firefly fanboy Steven Swanson took the Firefly and Serenity DVDs up with him on the Space Shuttle Atlantis on a mission in June of 2007. The DVDs were added to the media collection on the International Space Station as entertainment for the crew. A fan-made non-profit film was made called Browncoat Redemption and premiered at DragonCon 2010 with Joss Whedon's blessing to the project. The film was sold on DVD and Blu-ray with all proceeds being distributed among 5 charities.
I say, old chap, it's number 10.
Firefly shares similar DNA with the Alien franchise, and here's a few examples of how. In the first episode, the Weyland-Yutani logo can be seen on a heads-up display. Joss Whedon had previously been a screenwriter on Alien Resurrection, which featured a crew of space pirates that were hired by scientists to kidnap and smuggle random victims to serve as hosts for aliens. Oh, lovely. Originally, these characters were to have a playful tongue-in-cheek dialogue, like another crew of cheeky chaps, eh? Eh? Talk about these guys. I mean, these guys. And the set of the Serenity was built in the same studio as the underwater kitchen scene from Alien Resurrection. Well, there you go, 10 facts about Firefly. So what are your thoughts on this show? Is there anything you can tell us about Firefly? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, if you like this, then why not check out our other film facts videos? They cover both film and TV. And if you want to help out the channel and you don't want to miss out on anything that happens on here, then why not consider subscribing and hitting the bell thingy to stay notified. But thanks for watching, guys.